Another day. Actually, I've had a good day today. I've already done my work, so I've done a full day's work, all 2 hours of it, because I took a key worker to her driving test and she passed, and passed very, very well. And the examiner did compliment her on being such a nice driver, which is always a compliment to me as the teacher because it means that I've done my job well. So her test was at 20 past 8 this morning, and so we could get her ready for it. I picked her up at 20 past 7. Which is a little bit ironic, isn't it? That we've been in lockdown for 8, 9 weeks, and the one test that I have to do, the one person I've got to teach, gets a test at 20 past 8 in the morning. You know, so I had to get up. I had to actually get up for work. Bizarre. But what it's brought home is we talking about this whole situation that we're in. And I think there's still a kind of hope that this is all going to end fairly quickly and we're going to get over it. But the realization is setting in that it's going to take a long, long time. Um, as I think some Swedish minister, I think, said quite openly that the 100 or so countries that shut down their societies, and he said that there are good reasons for doing it. But what he did say was, you've now created a big, massive hole because how do you get out of it? And that's the problem, isn't it? How do we now get back out and create the society that we thought was a good one, but actually we're realizing it wasn't, it was flawed. There are a lot of people around like myself who went through last year thinking that society's just flipped. It's just not fit for purpose anymore. But we've got the chance to recreate it now. And something that I've spoken to a few people about going through last year was that we seem to have lost the idea of basic techniques and basic understanding. So we've lost the basics. If you learn a new skill like musical instrument, whatever it is, whether you learn in an apprenticeship, then you always start with good basic knowledge. And when I'm teaching people to drive, I give them good basic knowledge and we build on that knowledge, we add to it. So we don't start halfway up, we don't start near the end. We might talk about what we're going to achieve in the future, but we always build up the basics. And as a society, I think we've forgotten that. But now we're having to go back to basics again. This morning to do a driving test, I had to clean my car out with all the usuals, disinfectants and whatever. I had to turn up at the person's house. They had to wash their hands. I had to wipe everything down that could have been touched by me while I was driving there. They got in the car, they drove to the test centre. I had to wipe down everything that I could have touched in the passenger seat so the examiner could get in. Offered the examiner a chance to wipe down, so I left the Domestos wipes in there so that she could wipe down if she wanted to. We got back from the test centre. Obviously, all socially distancing, although you can't in the car. So then the examiner got out. I had to wipe down all the surfaces that she could have touched so that my driver, who just passed the driving test, could then go and sit in the passenger seat. Then I had to wipe down all the driver's side so that I could get in. So, and it's basic procedures. That's the new model, if you like. It's what we're going to have to do. And maybe this whole pandemic is teaching us the basic understanding and getting a grip of the basics again. And we're starting with health, we're starting with cleanliness. The idea that, wash your hands. It's so basic. My mum used to drill that into us all the time. Wash your hands. Before you go for your tea, wash your hands. If you're going to do any cooking, wash your hands. If you go to the toilet, wash your hands. Or maybe that's what's going to come back. But in the bigger picture, we're going to have to start bringing our skills back, bringing our workers back. And maybe we're going to see, not just as far as health and cleanliness goes, we're going to see some systems that are put in place that are bringing us right back to basic understanding of our jobs and our roles and our place in society. And it'd be nice to think that a lot of the basics that we'd forgotten are going to come back. It's a case of watch this space, really. Nobody really knows what we're going to hit until we try and put them into practice. But yeah, just to get back to basics. We've already got back to basics while we've been on lockdown a little bit, with it, more understanding from the heart and appreciating things more. So let's do it in the workplace, at the schools, anything that we do. Let's get the basics right first, and let's build on that. And then the new society and the new world and whatever we're going to work into will be built on a strong foundation and not topple over at the first sign of trouble.